On the third Monday of each January, the nation pauses to remember Martin Luther King Jr., a hero of the civil rights movement. But did you know that making MLK Day a federal holiday was a monumental struggle in and of itself? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade, and today we are going to dive into the details of how this day came to be. The journey begins with understanding why Martin Luther King Jr. deserves a day dedicated to his legacy. King's pivotal role in the civil rights movement and his nonviolent leadership set the stage for a holiday that honors his accomplishments and continues to inspire generations. You see, Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929. He rose to the forefront of the civil rights movement in 1955 with the Montgomery bus boycott that followed the arrest of Rosa Parks, an African-American woman who had violated the city's racial segregation ordinances when she refused to give up her seat on a bus into a white passenger. An advocate of Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of using nonviolent resistance to effect social change, King promoted the use of nonviolent means to bring an end to racial segregation in the United States. He led a campaign of nonviolent protest and civil disobedience, advocating for social and economic improvements for African Americans. Despite facing unpopularity during his lifetime, King's ideas and work now make him one of the most respected figures in the country. In 1964, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Peace for his efforts. Now, let's delve into the early efforts to establish Martin Luther King Jr. Day. After King's assassination in 1968, the first push for a federal holiday in his honor happened just 4 days later. Congressman John Conyers, a civil rights activist, took the initiative, but the request fell on deaf ears. Undeterred, Conyers persisted for 15 years, facing obstacles and opposition in Congress, emphasizing the significance of honoring a man who played a crucial role in reshaping American society. The 1980s saw a turning point in the struggle for MLK Day. With 6 million signatures in support, the Congressional Black Caucus, led by Conyers, continued the fight. Public support surged with Stevie Wonder's hit song Happy Birthday, dedicated to King. In 1983, as civil rights movement veterans gathered, this tide finally turned, leading President Reagan to sign the legislation. While the first federal holiday was celebrated in 1986, it took years for every state to observe MLK Day. Some southern states initially combined it with holidays honoring Confederate figures. Arizona faced controversies, rescinding and later reinstating the holiday after public referenda, boycotts, and voter registration drives. In March of 1990, the NFL delivered Arizona an ultimatum. The league approved Phoenix as the host of the 1993 Super Bowl, a sure economic boon. But on one condition, the state needed to finally recognize Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a holiday. In a scramble, state legislators placed MLK Day on the ballot in 1990, confident it would be approved. But when the vote tally came in that November, officials were shocked to discover the proposal had failed. "We honestly don't believe our kids and grandkids should revere him as a national hero," one anti-MLK Day activist told the New York Times. Can you believe that? True to its word, though, the NFL pulled the 1993 Super Bowl from Arizona. So, what exactly is Martin Luther King Jr. Day? This federal holiday, observed on the third Monday in January, honors the life and legacy of the civil rights leader. President Reagan signed it into law in 1983, and it was first observed on January 20, 1986. It became a holiday observed by all states in 2000, with New Hampshire being the last state to solely recognize the day as Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But how is the U.S. marking MLK Day in more recent times, like this year? The King Center in Atlanta, led by his daughter Bernice King, hosts events to educate the public. In Boston, a 22-foot bronze statue honoring King and Coretta Scott King was unveiled. President Joe Biden became the first sitting president to speak at King's Church in Atlanta, urging Americans to reflect on King's life for lessons on extremism and injustice. You're encouraged to use the day to reflect on the principles of racial equality and nonviolent social change espoused by Dr. King. The holiday is typically observed with events such as marches and rallies and speeches by politicians and civil rights leaders. So, as we conclude our exploration of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we recognize the struggles faced in establishing this holiday and celebrate the enduring legacy of a civil rights icon. If you found this journey through history enlightening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about the assassination of Dr. King, be sure to click the video that's in the corner of your screen over here. So, thank you for watching. And for Virtual History 360, I'm Mr. Wade. I'll see you next time.